My name is Cassie Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Are you actually sick? Are you sick and tired? Or are you just aware? That's what we're going to be playing with today in the Curious Universe. Thank you for joining me. We are exploring bodies this month, November. It's the month of bodies. If you caught the episode I did last week, I talked a lot about body communication. And then I thought we could kind of go into some specific things that our bodies communicate with. One of them is this when people get sick. And I know it's flu season. Kids went back to school. We're actually expecting illness and we're expecting our bodies to get sick. And then, of course, they do. Well, what if, not always, sometimes, but maybe not always, when you have symptoms that make you feel like you are sick, what if you're not actually sick? What if your body's not sick? Let me explain. Let's get super curious about this. What if there is a multitude of things that can be going on with your body when you're having sick symptoms? And asking the question will actually better address what's going on. So I always recommend the first thing you ask, if anything shows up with your body, is this mine? So if you suddenly feel like you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, my throat hurts, or I'm feeling like that sick feeling, or maybe it's towards the end of the day, you've been going all day and you're like, oh my God, I just kind of feel wiped out. I feel like I might be getting a cold. So right there is when that moment is when people start to solidify that as theirs. They're making it belong to their body. They're owning it. Be aware of the owning it thing. Now, I know owning it, some people look at it yeah, I owned it. Or I'm owning my responsibility. I'm owning. It could be a place where you actually owning all of this shit that doesn't belong to you. And what does that create for your body and your life and your future? Just say, that's a whole nother conversation. We're just looking at right now. Am I sick? So body, are you sick? Light or heavy? This is part of where we're getting that communication, right? Body, am I sick? If you feel better in that, when you ask the question, hey body, are you sick? And you suddenly feel more energized, then most likely you're not sick. And your body's trying to go, no, we're not sick. Does it belong to me? Am I perceiving someone else? Okay. This is am I just aware? It's the first thing. Now you want to ask, okay, so say it's someone else's. You're aware it's not going away. You can go a step further. Body, are we healing someone or something? Our bodies are phenomenal healers. Us, the infinite being, can be a healer, and our body can be the healer, and sometimes it's just one or the other, and sometimes it's both. That's something that you have to get clear on for you, and that is kind of a deep dive into healing. But so these symptoms is just communication. So you're feeling sick. It's communication. Even if you're having, the symptoms, you're having the runny nose, you're having the sore throat, you're having maybe even a fever. Is this mine? What's miraculous is that if it's not yours and you're willing to let it go, you can feel better like that. Now here leads me to the other thing. Do you want to feel better? Or is this a great excuse to get to take a day off work, or to maybe, you don't have to cook dinner tonight, or you can get out of something, right? It is one of the excuses of this reality that are acceptable, like health, kids, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. These are the excuses. If it's just an excuse, then you can either just let yourself be sick, or you can give yourself a sick day and not actually have to deal with the uncomfortable symptoms of being sick. Now, I know some of you out there need to feel sick to slow down. I know that because that was me. Because I was the mom that was like that. And like I would have to be wiped to actually take that time. So I was always like almost relieved when I was sick enough that my husband at the time, no longer married, but at the time I was, that he couldn't deny that I couldn't do all the things either. Like I was so visibly sick. So sometimes your body's just having your back. It's trying to give you a break. It's trying to give you a sick day, right? No? Okay. So is it mine? Are we healing someone? Body, are you healing someone? Body, am I healing someone? If you're healing someone, you want to ask, can they receive it? If they can't receive it, it might be in your and your body's best interest to stop healing them. Because more often than not, it will just bog you down. It will exhaust you. But if they can receive it, acknowledge it. And then body, how can we have ease with this? Because we're healing someone and you need to have ease with this. Okay. Then check in. Is this actually something I want to change? Am I actually trying to create illness or sickness with my body? Am I trying to create a way out? So this is beyond like just the cold. Like it could be something else with your body, right? Am I trying to create a way out of my body? Is that really true for me? Maybe that doesn't belong to you either. So what other communication could, so these are just some examples, but like, I would love, and if you want to leave comments and let me know, I would be really interested to know like what comes out, what awareness comes out when you start asking that question of your body, what is this? I've experienced, and I've had clients where they've experienced like massive detoxing of this reality. And it shows up as like a variety of illnesses. Like it's like this whole mix of a palooza. Like first, like it's the nose, and then they're fevering, and then it's like exhausted, and it's a whole thing. And they're going through a massive detox. And if you've ever done any type of detox work, or like more like through like, you know, you could do tea detoxes or stuff. Like sometimes your body actually feels like shit for a little while as it's coming out. Woo! Yeah. And so if you're detoxing this reality, you might not be feeling very good. And then if you don't, and then like the presumptive reality is, oh, it's flu season, I must be sick. Well, maybe that's not necessarily what's going on. And you might treat your body differently when it's sick than when it's detoxing, right? So if you have more clarity and awareness, then you can ask, oh, wow, you're detoxing. Okay. How can we have ease with this? Can we have more ease with this? Is there anything that you require from me, the being? Yeah. Cool. Awareness, space, possibility. Now let's go to like, what if you are sick? What if your body actually has some sort of virus, bacteria, something's going on, you know? You could go to the question, hey, body, do we need to do anything about this? Or do you got it? Do I just need to rest? What's required to have ease with this? You might be like, I need to drink a lot of lemon water, or tea, or echinacea, or get some of the miraculous body processes that Access Consciousness has with immune system and all that stuff. But what if it was just communication? Yeah. Now, it can be really interesting when, like, illness, being sick, can show up in connection to certain things. Like, say, for example, if you're a public speaker, life coach, you do events, or maybe you sing, or something to do with your voice, right? And right before a big event, you lose your voice. You start coughing. You lose, breath capacity. That could be communication. Mm-hmm. Or let's say you're an athlete, and right before a big race or a big game, you suddenly get feverish and like physically weak, that could be communication. See where I'm going with this? I think you know. It could be, you're going on a date and suddenly you have a headache. What? Communication. What is your body communicating to you? So it doesn't mean, and like, please know that communication doesn't mean this equals this. Okay. So that is not clear communication. That is trying to like compile answers and to have predictive relationships. Could you imagine if you had to like put in a spreadsheet, say you have a partner, and you put like, when I make this face, it means this. If I'm quiet, it means this. If I say this, it means this. Okay. And then they were never present with you in the moment. They only just went off this spreadsheet. Because for me, sometimes I'm quiet because I'm just like at peace. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts in my head. I'm just enjoying the space. And sometimes I'm quiet because I'm fucking pissed. And I know I can't say all the things that are in my head without burning someone. And sometimes I'm quiet because I'm pondering things, wondering about something. Sometimes I'm quiet because I'm giving someone else space. So why do we assume with your body that it's like this equals this, this equals this? Here's the spreadsheet. Body, if you have low energy, it equals this. No, I want to be asked, hey, you've been really quiet. I noticed that you've been really quiet. Yeah. Is there anything going on? Or is there anything I can contribute to you? What are you requiring? Oh my God, I fell in love. What? You're being present with me? You're asking me what I require? You're curious about what's going on and you're not trying to predict based on some past experience? That's romance to me. Maybe that's romance for your body. Yeah. Even if it seems like other experiences. Hey, body. I noticed that, like, we're fevering. I notice our temperature is really high right now. What's going on? Do you require anything? Is there anything I can contribute? Totally different universe of being with your body, isn't it? It's miraculous what can show up when you actually start having these conversations and allowing communication rather than trying to fit it into all these little boxes. Hey, body, what is this? And even if you if you get kind of a sense of an energy, but no like cognitive sense, be aware that the information might come within depending, like it might take a while. It could be within that day, but it might take a few days that suddenly something will come into your awareness and you'll be like, whoa. And you can ask, is this is this the awareness I got when I asked my body, what is this? Okay. So for example, it could be like, okay, so you ask, you're like, okay, I'm not sick. You cleared the healing thing, did the return to sender. You're not detoxing, but yet you're still feeling like just this wonkiness, like you can't quite clear it. Okay. And body, what can it contribute to? What would it take to have the ease of those? All those questions. And then you feel like you don't get anything because it's not cognitive, it's just energetic. And then you might be on social media and see like, some ad for blah, blah, blah. I don't know, some kind of food that you could be eating. Or it could be you see a picture of the forest and you're like, oh my God. And your body suddenly feels really good, or it sends you some kind of signal. Hey, this is what I was trying to show you earlier. Oh my God, am I facilitating the earth? But your body didn't have a way to communicate that. Okay, so it's like, when you're in the beginning stages, it's imagine you had two people that didn't know sign language, they couldn't speak, or you had one person, okay, so one person can speak verbally. Both people are energetic, but they don't know it. And one person cannot, they can hear, but they cannot get any information to you. They can't write it out. They can't use sign language. They can't like do lip reading stuff. Like they can't get you the information. So they have to find a way to communicate to you. And sometimes that's what's going on with the body. The body is like, okay, I'm trying to find any way to communicate with the being here. And it can come in these with really interesting ways. The more you get used to that and the more you practice that, it will come easier and faster. But in that beginning piece, it might come in these like very different, interesting ways, where suddenly you feel compelled to like pick up a book that you've read like a million times and you kind of flip through it and you open it and like the first line that your eye lands on is exactly what's going on for you. And when you acknowledge it, your body can suddenly not be sick. So let's go to the sick and tired thing for a minute. So are you sick and tired? And we talked a little bit about, giving yourself a sick day, giving yourself a break. Bodies will do that. They're amazing. But also, if you're constantly sick of, like you find like you're just sick and sick and sick and sick, you could ask yourself the question, what am I sick and tired of that I'm not acknowledging? Who or what am I sick and tired of that I'm not acknowledging? Who or what are you sick and tired of that you are not acknowledging? Oh, there's some energy there. Just need to have a sip of coffee and let that be in the world for a minute. Who or what are you sick and tired of that you're not acknowledging? It could be you're sick and tired of yourself. Could be you're sick and tired of your relationship or your job or the world. And again, it might not be yours. It might be your awareness that the world is sick and tired of the control and the lies and the corruption. Who or what are you sick and tired of that you're not acknowledging? And it might be more than one. Now, here's the thing, is acknowledging it sometimes is enough for like all the symptoms to disappear. You're like, oh my God, it's actually my partner. I'm sick and tired of them. Acknowledging that you're sick and tired of them does not mean that suddenly you're getting a divorce. Okay? So often we avoid acknowledging things because we've decided that acknowledging something means we have to do something that we don't necessarily want to do. That doesn't mean that at all. Allowing yourself to be aware and acknowledging what you're aware of actually gives you more choice, not less choice. I know it's crazy, but it actually gives you more choice, not less choice. So hey body, what are you aware of? What are you showing me? Who or what am I sick and tired of that I am not acknowledging? So acknowledge it, and then look at, do I want to do anything about it? If you're like, you know what, body? All right, I acknowledge I am so sick and tired of my partner. I can barely even look at them. I don't know why I'm with them. I don't really want to be here anymore, but I'm choosing not to actually do anything about this. Can this illness go away, please? No, it might not, but it might. Your body might be like, okay, and ease up for a while. It'll most likely come back at some point because, like I had said in the podcast before this, please listen to that if you haven't, is that your body is willing to be the bringer of information in any way, even if it makes it the bad guy. And it desires for you to have a phenomenal living, even if you have decided that you can't. If you've decided you have to settle, or this is as good as it's going to get, or, you know, we have too much stuff together, I can't leave, or we have kids, I can't leave, or whatever. Your body will relentlessly communicate to you what's not working and what's not creating the greatest possibilities for you in any way it needs to, because it has your back that hard. You know, like you have friends probably that they'll line and agree with you. And sometimes you just need that. You just want to go and you're like, I'm going to vent. I'm going to complain. We do this, but like no one actually knows what a phone is anymore because we all use cell phones. So it's more like this. or like me on speaker. Call up your friend and you're like, I need to vent this out. And you're going to like, this person did blah, blah, blah. And they go, what a jerk. And you're like, yeah, thank you. Boom. That's it. That's what that conversation was for. That's that person. They're just going to line and agree with you. And sometimes you want that. But you also have the friends that you know that when you call and you're like, blah, 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 that they're willing to have your back and ask you the hard question of, oh, well, isn't that what you wanted? Did you create this? Those kind of opening questions that are curious, not from they have a point of view about your life, but actually willing to ask you, didn't you ask for that? This person, I got fired from my job. Yeah, but weren't you asking for like a new job like 6 months ago? Were you asking for something different? Yeah. So what if your body was more like that kind of friend? Sometimes your body will just align and agree with you because bodies are so wonderful. If you're like, body, like I felt like illness come on and I'm about to facilitate a 4-day class. And I've asked my body, I'm like, hey, I get that we obviously have something going on. Can you wait until after these 4 days? And my body was like, yeah. And like all the symptoms disappear. And I facilitate this incredible class. I feel so great. And then the day after, I'm like, boom. And then I can like be more present with all of that and give my body the rest and the space to detox and to transform and change that I could not have in those 4 days. So there's times where your body will just go, yeah, sure, whatever you need. There are also times where your body will be relentless in the expansion of your life and living. And I'm so damn grateful for my body for being willing to be that, because we are so entrained to seek comfort rather than transformation. Comfort rather than greatness. Comfort rather than those things that will expand your life. And when my body nudges me more to the extraordinary, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Because I'm grateful for this team player I got. And I hope you're grateful for your body too. Okay, so play this. This is like the one to keep it a little bit on the like, I'm sick again. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you actually sick? Is your body actually sick? Is it something else? If it is sick, what if you let it be sick? I know it's crazy, but we're always trying to fix it or change it, right? What if you're actually like, okay, body, so how many days do you need ish? Like 2 days. I'm like, all right, clear the schedule. Don't fight it. Don't try and put on your fancy clothes. You just get into the comfies, you know what I mean? And you just couch it. Stay in bed, whatever you need to do. Because if you allow that space for your body, whether it's detoxing, whether it's healing, whether it's literally altering its DNA, transforming. And that's the thing here is we are in a transformative time. Our body's required to mutate to meet the day, to like address the worldly energies. We require right now to have some mutation going on. You know, we talk about like how diseases or viruses or whatever, like they'll mutate. But we have not really been acknowledging that we as a species, that our bodies, our DNA, our molecular structures, we are mutating. We're evolving. And that might take a little bit of rearranging. And if your body requires more rest during that, what if that's okay? Your body also might require more activity during that, and be aware of that as well. Be in that question. What do you require? What do you require, body? I hope this episode was a contribution to you and your sweet, magical body. Have fun asking questions and exploring it. I know when I started to really look at this whole sick thing, I had a totally different perspective after I communicated with my body a bit about being ill, about detoxing and all of those things. And I have way more fun with it now. So it's so rare that I'm ever sick. But when I'm sick, I like enjoy it to the fullest. I'm like, everything like just comforts, and just like I run body processes. I give my body the gift of a sick day whenever I can, whenever it's asking for it. So I hope that you enjoy being sick or not being sick a lot more, and let me know how it goes. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?